Neurosense Therapeutics, 19 million market cap. Yikes. And then we'll look at PBI. Elf Beauty we looked at. We liked that one. Amphastar. I think I looked at Amphastar. Didn't think it was that attractive. 34 billion market cap. Eric was my old colleague, the Goldman Sachs analyst. He has a sell rating on eBay. That's cold-blooded. Justin Post. Remember the old Goldman Sachs analyst Anthony Noto, who became CFO of Twitter. And then left, I think, to become CEO of something. I wonder what is Noto up to? Oh, he's running SoFi. Sava's going up because, well, I hate to break it to you, but 𝗕𝗏𝗡 is the greatest drug ever made. They don't know how they made it. They lied about it, but somehow it just works. Happens all the time. Just mix up some chemicals and what do you know? It's a cure for something. eBay did really well with PayPal and they spun off that other company. It's amazing how small eBay is relative to PayPal. The whole idea of an auction site is a little silly. I'm pretty sure nobody even uses the auction part anymore, but it's one of these legacy internet companies. Jamaica has a tiny stock market, actually. I know because I have to get the API for Godel. I tell them I know Ninja Man and that I'm a real bad man, and they give me that API for free. Bonds can even be relevant for equity players, but yeah, they are definitely their own thing. So yeah, eBay's had flat revenue forever. It's kind of a dead business model, and they're stuck in between a rock and a hard place of e-commerce. So I think it's probably a good short the same way Sheridan does, but I have to check the valuation. Remember, just because it's a bad business doesn't mean it's a bad stock. It could be really cheap. Even a crummy business is worth something. Never forget that. You're spending way too much on technology. Elon Musking. But the problem with Elon Musking is that, look at Elon. I mean, he lost a lot of revenue with Twitter. Maybe all those people were doing something. The product still works. Oh, this is probably a short. Yeah, I think WAVE is for short. WVE for a trade. For a quick trade. I don't know. It's not hard to do CRISPR in liver. It's not hard to do. I mean, basically, you could do anything in the liver. I like BABA, yeah. I don't love it, but I like it. Yeah, I think WAVE, like, I'm not that impressed by this. Like, you can do any kind of work like that in the liver. What's ProQR doing? Where did ProQR's news come out? I mean, is it news that oligos work? The quote-unquote gene RNA editing, that's like such a memey thing to say. Like, you can, just the chemistry makes sense that you could like replace, it's tricky, but I see how you could change that. It may open up some new diseases for them, but everyone's just using CRISPR for this stuff anyway. I'm underwhelmed, sorry. I'll look at ProQR someday, but I'm not that excited. I've looked at this company before. They had a lymphoma drug some years ago, right? CRISPR by itself isn't that patentable. CRISPR still doesn't work outside the liver. Neither does any of this stuff. Editing RNA doesn't make sense because it's transient. So what are you really editing? It's just normal medicine. You might as well give the oligo. Yeah, I mean, sell-side equity research. Yeah, it won't be hard to make it a desktop app, Ramon. eBay burning all their profits on buying back their stock. Let's buy back our stock instead of buying another company that we might be able to grow. Our stock's a better investment. Okay, so they do make consistent cash flow. I'll give them that. But I do imagine that cash flow, one, it's falling and it'll continue to fall. 2 billion on average. So would you pay 15 times earnings for no grower in tech? Now, tech is risky, right? Like, it's not just like, you know, you can lose your business over the course of some years. Some new technology comes out, that's that. Not like it's that easy to retool. Although 2024 looks very calm as well. Share buyback can be okay, but most of the time it's not a great use of time. And Austin is right, even most of the time M&A is not a good use of time. That's why most CEOs suck, and people like me and Buffett are great because we're shareholders. We understand investing. So when we use the balance sheet to buy a company, we're doing something really smart. When most of these other guys do that, they're just thinking in Porter's 5 forces and strategic, overlap, which is not the right way to do it. I mean, eBay's doing fine. It's just like easy to see this business atrophy over time, and I don't think the value is there. I mean, what can they do to grow? They'd have to, I mean, it's a retired brand in my opinion. They could introduce some new products. You got Shopify, you know, really innovating in e-commerce. You still use eBay? What do you use it for, Raider? The number of people using eBay is not growing. It's like a big old garage sale. Is that the idea? Yeah, eBay is good for certain things. That makes sense. But it's not going to grow, right? In Wall Street, we worry about growth. Now they spun out PayPal many years ago. Yeah, those niche markets are great. That'll keep them in business, but I don't know if I'd want to buy a flat 15%. I mean, they're doing a lot of buybacks, so like you are getting your yield, but I don't know that. And now 12 times, maybe I'd buy it, but 15, for no grower, I can buy a bond. I'm not going to get a 7% yield, I guess, but yeah, they're going to try to grow through fees, and customers hate that, and a new upstart is going to come over, and I would not be surprised if, you know, they start to atrophy a little. Who knows? Amazon kind of ate their lunch too, right? Yeah, the right corporate bond might be better than eBay. Much safer, same yield. Okay, so if I assume eBay shrinks, but they do big cost cuts, yeah, they could basically keep their cash flow break even. Not break even, but they can basically keep their cash flow the same. It's not that safe though. It's like one product in one product category. It's not as safe as Microsoft or something, you know? So I've got to give it the 9% discount rate. Yeah, it's a short. 2 shorts in a row, Pearson and eBay. Rest in peace. I need the Undertaker gong for these shorts. Dong. eBay's probably a little too big to be acquired, but yeah, private equity could probably ring it out. It would be a very big deal for PE, but it's doable. Okay, let me look at PBI, Pitney Bowes. Pitney Bowes is a weird little company. They do like postage. Just roughly $1 billion company. It's doubled this year. Stock has kind of been a rocket ship. Okay, so Pitney has a ton of debt. So they're in this, I hate these stocks that are like more debt than equity. They did a buyback. Bill rate, is this Bill rate or Bill.com? I was thinking of Bank Rate. It's an old company. Get your Sava puts, they're on sale. Get your short in while we wait. When we're gonna go on Sava Watch, what do you guys say? November 1st, we're going on Sava Watch. That means we're staying up 24/7 with alarm bells for cassava. We're not gonna sleep. When we sleep, you're gonna see me sleeping, waiting for the cassava. Yeah, 24/7. The cassava bell is gonna ring. Like, where's the data? Where's the data? What happened? Cassava meets primary endpoint. Is over. You can say cassava reports results of phase 3 trial. That'll be the headline. I will bail out your account of your cassava losses. You have to prove that you have them on your Robinhood, but you have to post. You have to post. I was lied to by Joe Springer. I was lied to by Matt Nacktrap. These guys don't know anything about biopharma. I was lied to by these idiots, and I lost a bunch of money. Thank God Shkreli bailed me out. Listen to Shkreli next time. Don't be a bag holder like me. That's my favorite account, is bag holder quotes. I want to buy it. I reached out to buy it. They haven't updated in a while. But this is like the greatest bag holder. Bag alert. I'm not voting for the plan unless I get $10 a share. Bed Bath & Beyond bankruptcy. Don't all stakeholders include shareholders? Looks like we are well positioned here. The bagatonin. Bagatonin receptors. They're lighting up. Baggy reporting for duty. MMLTP. Should I show up at the SEC tomorrow with my 313 Patriots? I feel like a demonstration of real power is necessary. Reminder then, we settle the trades that day while we have control of the building, and then leave when the trades are settled. Purple Heart Baggy reporting it. MMTLP. The stock seems to rise and fall. Rise on hype and fall on fundamentals. I'm not an expert on stock movements, but hard to imagine any upward movement until EPS starts growing consistently again. Only 32% interest too. That's not bad at all. We got to pay people more, I guess. K-Bio was different. It was a couple million market cap. The 𝗕𝗏's a billion market cap. What's it going to squeeze to? GM? It's going to be bigger than GM. Ford, company with no revenue, no profits, and a fraudulent drug. Oh no, you only lose if you sell. That's the cry of the bag holder. I don't know what's going to happen in November, but I know Cassava's going to go to 2 by the end of the year, as long as they don't change their minds about telling the truth. I think I'm going to send the CEO a pretty stern letter, but not a lie to the people. Bitcoin is a good asset. I own some Bitcoin. It's a very volatile asset, so I think you have to probably think about a Sharpe ratio of return for your volatile assets versus return for your not so volatile assets. I mean, Bitcoin could go down 75% and stay there for 10 years, which I probably think is going to happen in crypto. And then, you just have to be patient and the return will normalize a little. But I mean, Nvidia's up a lot more than Bitcoin. Doesn't mean I should stop what I'm doing and try to buy the highest growth tech stock I can find. Bitcoin's worthless, but it has this Lindy effect where people, sort of have gotten very used to it, and it represents something. ETH I think is worthless. I would sell all the ETH. ETH, the only thing ETH's good for is supporting USDC and USDT. Otherwise, ETH is useless. I'm not trapped in the fiat matrix. I think you might be trapped in the crypto matrix. And I'm very bullish on crypto. I mean, I literally said Bitcoin could go to $1 million. I just think you're a little nutso. Why trade anything when US stocks exist? Alpha. ETH does not have the advantages of blockchain. ETH is trash, dude. I don't know. They're all kind of technologically flawed. I think there'll be a drawdown at some point to reflect the kind of failure of crypto to really spread much outside of its current use cases. The whole idea of DeFi is a little bit cringe. But there's some hope, like Ondo Finance is really interesting, for example. Just because money supply, just because there's more money doesn't mean fake money you should run off and buy fake money. Some random kid's computer programming project. The funny thing about crypto is we could completely implode fiat and crypto doesn't have to change price. It is, because you can't reclaim that energy. Just because it costs energy to make doesn't mean it's worth anything. If I took a dump and really painstakingly handcraft the dump into tiny little pieces, it takes time and energy. I might pay a ton of people to do that, to help me orchestrate the dumps, but it's still worthless, bro. You can't fake scarcity, artificial scarcity. That's what Munger said, actually, about Bitcoin. I actually like Bitcoin. I just don't think you go all in or something. Yeah, compute can be the new currency. Compute cycles. I mean, they already are in a lot of ways. Why do you need some twisted, contorted blockchain? Yeah, exactly. Bitcoin's artificially scarce, and there's no reason the price has to go up. Yeah, I mean, in some ways, you don't need an EMP. You just need a small amount of paper, on pieces of paper. I do think Bitcoin's better than fiat in a lot of ways, but I think we can actually shift. We can even bypass Bitcoin. There's lots of goods and services. Oil and gas are a big one, but the world's more complicated than it was 50 years ago. I think compute is the one thing we could all agree is really useful, but it's also a moving target. That's why hydrocarbons, oil, is also quite reasonable. I'm going to look at 𝗟𝗡𝗏 pretty soon here. Maybe even next. I'm looking at PITNEY BOWES right now, though. Weird little mailing company, ironically kind of related to eBay in a lot of ways. Revenues declined year after year. There's a lot of value possibly to unlock here. Just slightly higher margins would be huge, but they actually pay more in interest than their operating income. That's pretty disastrous right there. Positive cash flow. Negative free cash flow. A proxy contest too. So if it were well managed, perhaps it would be more valuable. We're looking at PITNEY BOWES. Deep value, the deepest of values. 600 in cash and 2 in debt, 2 bill. Massively levered, small company. I hate it when they can't even service their debt. It's a problem. I mean, if the most free cash flow they ever had was 117, why would you pay 20 times that number unless you thought free cash flow maybe could be a lot higher than even their peak? That sounds like a dog to me. We say we just shorted some Sava. Sometimes you could say like we got a short off. We got our short off, or we got filled on our short. We never use public shorts unless you're talking about a portfolio. Like, oh, my shorts are doing well. Terrible company. Also nice short. We got 3 shorts in a row. It's weird because like a lot of the stocks I'm looking at should be like fairly valued, but a lot of stocks you guys give me are either like way overvalued or way undervalued. Yeah, Match is a big company, obviously. Okay, they actually grew a little bit from 2019 to 2021 and then kind of reversed course. Being in the mail business isn't really that great, it doesn't seem. In 2024, mailing and packaging services, maybe not ideal. Yeah, I think quant's always a good job. Not really 100% sure if it's not like saturated or what, but I don't think you should think of companies as like, okay, this is good for Alzheimer's or this is bad for Alzheimer's. A real good Alzheimer's drug will probably just like come out of nowhere. But yeah, I mean, Biogen's drug actually does work technically, so, but it doesn't mean like you're going to make money if you buy Biogen stock necessarily. Lilly's drug looks even better, to be honest. So free cash flow on average for these guys has been 100. So with some modifications, could it be 200? Maybe. Like conceivably, they could just turn that debt into equity, right? And they would have no interest costs. Yeah, so I don't know if they could do some like massive restructuring. Maybe if the activists can take over. I'm not even sure I'd want to pay 10 times earnings though, even if they could do a massive restructuring. Okay, that's Pitney Bowes. eBay, I think, is a short. Yeah, I mean, it's rallying, so I kind of feel like I want to give it a little more time. But I would say if it has a down day, I probably want to start trimming it. I mean, we should always let it breathe, right? Why do you hate microcap? Because it's not really for professionals. 10, 20 million market cap? Are you kidding me? I don't want to own 5% of some company. And it's almost always low quality companies. Almost always. You tell me some microcap that worked out really well. I mean, 1 out of 1,000. It's always bad management. It's always not true, TM. Most of them are private. You can't really short microcaps. That's the problem. But yes, that there is a microcap arbitrage if you can borrow. If you can borrow and finance the shorts, it's a really good arbitrage. I think it's a pretty good arbitrage from like Jane Street or Renaissance, because they're their own broker dealers. They don't necessarily have to put up their own money. They don't have to, I guess, the clearinghouse doesn't require them to put up $5 for every short like we do, or they're shorting phantom shares. You know how it is, the phantoms. Some counterfeit shares, just making it up.